Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما. Surah Al-Aadiyat, ayah number 1 to 11. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal-Aadiyati, by those that grace, by those that gallop. Dabha, panting. Fal-Muriyati, then by those that strike fire. Qadha, by striking. Fal-Mughirati, then by those who raid, by those who charge. Subha, at morning. فَأَثَرْنَ, so they raised. Bihi, with it. Naq'a, dust. فَوَسَطْنَ, so they penetrated into the midst. Bihi, with it. Jam'a, altogether. Inna, indeed. Al-insan, the human being. لِرَبِّهِ, for his Lord. لَكَنُودْ, surely most ungrateful. وَإِنَّهُ, and indeed he, عَلَى, upon, ذَلِكَ, that, لَشَهِيد, surely one who witnesses. وَإِنَّهُ, and indeed he, لِحُبِّ, for love, الْخَيْرِ, of the wealth, لَشَدِيد, surely severe. أَفَلَا, does then not, يَعْلَمُ, he knows, إِذَا, when, بُعْثِرَ, it was taken and thrown out. مَا, whatever, فِي, is in, Al-Qubur, the graves. وَحُصِّلَ, and it was made apparent. Ma, whatever, fi, is in, As-Sudur, the chests. Inna, indeed, Rabbahum, their Lord, bihim, with them, Yawma idin, that day, La Khabir, surely all aware. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Lesson number 311, Surah Al-Aadiyat, ayah number 1 to 11. Surah Al-Aadiyat is a Makki surah, and it was revealed after Surah Al-Asr. This surah has 11 verses, 40 words, and approximately 160 huruf. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal-Aadiyati dabha, by the racers, panting. فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا, and the producers of sparks when striking. فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا, and the chargers at dawn. فَأَثَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا, stirring up thereby clouds of dust. فَوَسَطْنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا, arriving thereby in the center collectively. In these ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing an oath by Al-Aadiyat, Al-Muriyat, Al-Mughirat. Al-Aadiyat, Al-Muriyat, Al-Mughirat, these are all sifat. These are all attributes. But what is the mawsoof? Whose attributes, whose characteristics are these? It's not mentioned over here. And the scholars have said that it refers to horses. And some say that it refers to camels. Because if you look at the description, this is very much relevant to horses, and to some extent camels as well. But of the two opinions, what is more strong is that it refers to horses, and I will explain why. If you look at the first description that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, and in fact He swears an oath by, is Al-Aadiyat. Aadiyat is the plural of Aadiyah, from the root letters Ain, Dal, Waw, Adwun. And Adwun is to run fast, to speed. And Aadin is one that runs fast. Aadiyah, feminine of that, she who runs very fast. Imam Raghib said that Adwun is to cross the limits in something and to not maintain moderation. It is to cross limits and to not maintain
moderation. Which is why this word also applies to transgression, enmity, because in that a person crosses limits. And if this is done with regards to walking, meaning in walking, then it means that a person has started to run. Because moderation, waqsid fi mashik, what does that mean? That a person walks not too slow, not too fast, but he's walking in a normal pace. But adwun, with regards to walking, means that a person is now running. He's going very, very fast. So adiyah, adiyat, those who run very fast. And how are they running? Dabha, panting, snorting. Dabha, from the root letters dad, ba, ha. Dabh is to pant, it is to breathe very hard. Dabah al-faras is when the horse pants and makes a snorting sound from his belly or from his chest as he is running very, very fast. So basically it's used for the sound of heavy breathing. The sound of heavy breathing, panting, that you can see the chest move, you can see the belly move, you can see the nostrils bloat as the horse is running fast and he's also panting. So it's the heavy breathing of the horses. Originally the word dabh is used for wolves, the snorting, the panting of the wolves, because even when they run, they also produce this kind of sound. And when they run, wolves, they run in the form of a pack. And when they run in order to attack generally. So what does it show over here? That وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا, it is the horses that run very fast, and as they run, they are running, they are breathing like wolves do. What does it show? The confidence of these horses, the speed of these horses. Which horses are these? Those that are engaged in battle, those that are running into the battlefield. وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا. Now some scholars, they have said that it refers to camels. Which camels? Those that are taken to Hajj. However, this is not a strong opinion. Why? Because as I mentioned to you, the word dabh is used for the panting of who? Horses, not camels. So this is why other scholars disagree that وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا. وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا, it refers to who? Horses. And if you notice, adiyat, is this feminine or masculine? Feminine. Why is it feminine? This is just like for the angels, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالنَّازِعَاتِ. Many times when the angels are mentioned, and how are they mentioned? In the feminine form. However, the horses, for them also, feminine plural is used, like we have learned, as-safinatul jiyad. As-safinatul jiyad, in the story of Sulaiman alayhi salam, the best horses. And also, the Arabs, when they went to battle, they preferred female horses. When the Arabs went to battle, they would prefer to take female horses. Why would they prefer to take female horses? Because they were much faster. They ran much faster compared to male horses. So this is why Allah says, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبْحًا. By those that race, by those that gallop, by those that charge, galloping steeds, speedily running horses. And when they're running, they're panting. فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا. And by the producers of sparks. When? When they strike. Al-muriyat. This is the plural of muriyah. From the root letters, waw, ra, ya, wari. What does that literally mean? Wuriya. To be behind. Good. What else does it mean? Any other word you can think of? Kayfa yuwari. What does it mean? To cover, to hide. Kayfa yuwari saw'ata akhi. The sons of Adam alayhi salam, when one killed the other, and then he was left with the dead body of his brother, he couldn't figure out kayfa yuwari saw'ata akhi, how he should hide the dead body of his brother. And waw, ra, ya, from the same root, ira is to light fire. So one is to hide, another is to light fire. أَفَرَأَيْتُمُ النَّارَ الَّتِي تُورُونَ. Have you seen the fire which turun, which you kindle? So ira is to strike one thing against the other, Why? In order to produce fire, in order to produce sparks. You understand? To strike one thing against the other in order to produce fire, in order to produce sparks. This is just like when you have a lighter and you rub your thumb over it, then what happens? One wheel rubs against the other, and as a result, the spark of fire comes out, or something like that. But that's how it appears to be, at least. But anyway, whenever you light fire, even if it's with a matchstick, you have to rub it against a surface. When you rub it against that particular surface, when you rub one thing against the other, strike one thing against the other, that is when the sparks of fire will be produced. So, muriyah, muriyat, this is a plural of muriyah. Muriyah, this is ism fa'il. One that kindles fire. One that strikes fire. One that causes sparks. One that causes sparks. Those who strike. Qadha. Qadha from the root letters qaf, dal, ha. And qadh is to kindle fire by striking stone or metal or something of the like. So فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا, those that produce sparks, how? When they strike. Those that produce sparks when they strike. Now horses, what do they have beneath their feet? Horseshoes. And when they run, especially on a rocky terrain, then what happens? Depending on how they are running and how their feet are stomping on the rocky terrain, if it's very intense, if it's very violent, what will happen? Sparks will come out. Literally, you will see the sparks. So, فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا, that when they race on rocky ground, their hooves strike the rocks, and this causes sparks of fire to fly from them, literally. What does this show? What does this indicate? How fast these horses run. Al-Aadiyat ضَبْحًا, what does that indicate? Again, how fast they run. فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا, this shows that how fast they run again. And not just how fast, but also when can you see the sparks? In broad daylight, at the time of duha. No. When can you notice the sparks? Either at night time or early morning. Early morning. So فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا. Because we see that the Arabs, when they attacked somewhere, they prefer to attack early morning, like at Fajr time or soon after, or later part of the night. Why? Because that is the time when you don't expect somebody to come, when you don't expect the enemy to attack. So this is the time that they selected for attacking someone. So فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا, you could see the sparks coming out of their hooves as they're running so fast on rocky terrain. How would you walk on rocks? Slowly and gradually, taking one step after the other very carefully. But look at these horses. فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا, and the chargers at dawn. Al-Mughirat, plural of Mughira. And Mughira from the root letters ghayn, ya, ra, ghayr. What does ghayr mean? Other than. So Mughir is one who is not of your own group, which is why the word Mughir is also used for someone who attacks. Because someone who is not of you will attack you. And Mughir is also used for one who attacks violently. Because when he attacks violently, what will he do to your condition? غَيَّرَهُ, he will change it. He will alter it. You understand? Who is Mughira? Mughir. One who raids, one who attacks. How does he attack? Violently, with shidda. Why? Because A, he is not of you, he is of the ghayr. And B, when he will attack, he will تغير your state. He will change your state. So فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ, Mughirat are who? Those who raid, those who charge, those who invade. When do they invade? Subha, in morning. I mentioned to you earlier that the Arabs, they attacked generally when? At early morning, because that's the time when the enemy least expected them. And also if you think about it, in the morning, especially early morning, there is still moisture in the air. And there's dew, because of which the terrain, rocky terrain, it might be damp slightly. But it's amazing how fast these horses run, that despite the fact that there's moisture in the air, everything is damp kind of, still as they run, sparks come out of their feet. فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا فَأَثَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا, stirring up thereby clouds of dust. أَثَرْنَ, أَثَرْنَ from the root letters sa wa ra, and saur is to be stirred, to be roused, to be excited, to be stimulated. This is the literal meaning of the word. We learnt about the Baqarah, in Surah Al-Baqarah, that it should be not such that تُثِيرُ الْأَرْضَ وَلَا تَسْقِي الْحَرْثَ. It should not be such that plows the land, nor does it water the fields. So, in plowing the land, what do you have to do? What do you have to do? Agitate the earth, in which the part that is underneath, you are digging it so that it comes up to the surface. So, فَأَثَرْنَ, they stir up, and the noon at the end is for feminine, plural. So, فَأَثَرْنَ, these horses, they raise, they stir up, bihi, with it. With what? Bihi, by it. By what? By their running, by their charging. Or at that place, at that time of morning, or at that place where they have attacked, or because of their running, because of their charging, what do they raise? Naq'a, dust, clouds of dust. Naq'a is from the root letters Noon, Qaf, Ain, and Naqr is used for a trail of dust that is left behind someone who is running very, very fast. So a trail of dust left behind by who? A running rider. So فَأَثَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا. Just look at how they move. When they run on rocky terrain, what happens? There are sparks of fire. When they run on ground, they leave behind a trail of dust. So how fast they run. And when they run, they're so confident, so daring, that they don't stop. فَوَسَطُنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا, arriving thereby in the center collectively. فَوَسَطُنَ, وَسَطُنَ, waw, sin, ta. What does wasata mean? The middle of something. To be in the middle. And وَسَطُنَ, they, meaning they go in the middle. They penetrate. They thrust inside. They go into the middle. Bihi, thereby. By what? By their running. Or at that time. Or at that place. How do they penetrate? How do they arrive there? Jam'a, altogether. Meaning, all of these horses that are running together collectively, they penetrate into the midst of the enemy. They go into the midst of the enemy. فَوَسَطُنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا, together, collectively. And jamr has also been understood as the jamr of the enemy, that they go right into it. فَوَسَطُنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا. What does this show? Their fearlessness, their confidence, their bravery, their obedience to their masters. That early morning, when their masters take them in order to attack somewhere, they go immediately. They run so fast that they're panting. They run so fast on rocks that there are sparks coming out of their feet. And when they run on dust, what happens? A trail of dust is left behind them. And they're so fearless that they go right into the midst of the enemy. So basically this shows how obedient they are to their masters. Now all of this is a qasam, an oath. What's the jawab qasam? Allah says, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ. Indeed, the human being to his Lord is very, very ungrateful. Very ungrateful. Do you understand this jawab qasam? Look at the steed and look at the man. Look at the horse. So faithful, so obedient, so submissive, so energetic in obedience to his Lord, to its master. But the human being, look at him. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ. He's kanud. Who is kanud? Kanud is someone who is very, very ungrateful. Someone who mentions difficulties all of the time and never ever mentions the blessings. He remembers the difficulties, the problems, but he does not remember the blessings. Al-Ard al-Kanud, land that is kanud, is used for such land that doesn't grow anything. You pour water on it, you put good soil on it, you put seeds in it, you put everything inside of it. It takes everything, but it doesn't produce anything. It takes, eats. but it doesn't produce. It doesn't give anything in return. This is who Kanud is. So Kanud means kafur, one who is very ungrateful, one who is very thankless, one who denies the favors of his Lord. Innal insana li rabbihi lakanud. Hasan al-Basri said, Kanud is lawam li rabbihi, ya'uddu al-musibat, and yansa al-ni'am. He is the one who is always, negative towards his Lord. How? That he keeps count of all the miseries and difficulties and problems. Yesterday I had this problem. Day before yesterday I had this problem. 5 years ago I suffered from this. 15 years ago I suffered from that. He doesn't forget the problems. يَعُدُّ الْمُصِيبَاتِ and يَنْسَ النِّعَمِ. He forgets the blessings. He will remember the smallest of problems even. I stubbed my toe over here. I hurt my elbow over here. I hurt my forehead over here. I lost those $5 over there. He will remember the little things even that have gone wrong. But the biggest of favors, he forgets them. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ. Look at the horse, so obedient, that if the master takes it in the morning, it will go. The master takes it to a battle in order to raid, and the horse will obediently comply. What do we want to do in the morning? What do we want to do at night? Rest, take things easy. We don't want to get up. We don't want to be on the move. But the horse doesn't complain. We want our food, we want our money, we want all of our blessings, we want our health. If even one thing goes wrong, we get so upset. And the horses are so obedient. And when they go for battle, you think the horses don't get injured? They don't get wounded? Of course they do. But do they ever complain, I'm not coming again? No. We get slightly hurt in the way of Allah. And we say, because this happened, this is why I'm not doing this again. I cannot continue with this anymore. إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ. The horse puts in so much effort. So obedient. How is our obedience? How is our effort? How is our loyalty? وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. And indeed he is to that a witness. The human being, عَلَى ذَلِكَ, for that, what does that refer to? That refers to his ingratitude. He is being kanud. He is lashahid. He's surely a witness to that. Meaning he knows very well as to how ungrateful he is. This is not something hidden to the human being. It's something very obvious. He knows. He is shaheed over it. And he's shaheed over it how? In this dunya and also on the day of judgment. In this dunya he is a witness to his own ingratitude. He knows. It's not something hidden from him. And on the day of judgment, he will be a witness to his own ingratitude. We learn in Surah An-Nur, ayat 24, يَوْمَ تَشْهَدُ عَلَيْهِمْ أَلْسِنَتُهُمْ وَأَيْدِيهِمْ وَأَرْجُلُهُمْ بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. On the day, a person's own body is going to witness. وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. And some have said that innahu, who refers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah is a witness to what? To the ingratitude of the human being. وَإِنَّهُ, and indeed he, لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ, in love of wealth, he is لَشَدِيد, surely one who is very severe. For the love of wealth, he is very, very severe, meaning he loves wealth like crazy. He loves wealth like anything. In Surah Al-Fajr, ayat 20, we have learned, وَتُحِبُّونَ الْمَالَ حُبًّا جَمًّا. A lot of love you have for wealth. Over here, لَشَدِيد. And because he's very shadeed for his love for wealth, this is why he becomes stingy. This is why he becomes lazy. This is why he doesn't want to put in any effort. He is shadeed in his love for wealth. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيد. But Allah says, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ. Does he not know? إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. When the contents of the graves are scattered. Does he not know that there will be a time when بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ, whatever is in the graves is going to be brought out and exposed. بُعْثِرَ. We have done the word بُعْثِرَت. بَعْعَيْنْ سَارَ بَعْثَرَ. And بَعْثَرَ is to upturn something and expose it. وَإِذَا الْقُبُورُ بُعْثِرَت. When, for example, there is a bag that is packed with everything. You open up the bag, you open up the suitcase, and whatever is inside, you just upturn it completely. You're looking for one thing, and as a result, everything is upside down. Everything is out. So, إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ, whatever is in the graves is going to be brought out. What does it mean? Does he not know that there is a time when he is going to be resurrected? Does he not know that there is a time that he will be resurrected? He will be brought before his Lord? So why is he so ungrateful? Why is he so disobedient? And why is he so lost in the love of this dunya, in the love of wealth? وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ, and that within the breasts is also obtained. On the Day of Judgment, what's going to happen? مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ, whatever is in the hearts is going to be حُصِّلَ. حُصِّلَ from تحصيل, and تحصيل is to take out the marrow from the bone. Literally, it is to take out the marrow from the bone. So what is deep inside, you scratch it out, you scrape it out, you take it out. And sometimes it's so difficult to take out the marrow. Similarly, it is to take the seed out of its shell, or the fruit that is inside a cover, like for example coconut. So tahsil is basically to take out something that is deeply covered, hidden inside. It's like how you get peanuts or almonds or walnuts. So, وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ, whatever is covered, concealed, buried inside the heart, it will be exposed, it will be obtained, it will be taken out, and it will be distinguished. Everything will be brought out. So whether it is iman, or it is kufr, or it is the good a'malul qalb, such as tawakkul, fear of Allah, such as raja, hope, trust in Allah, whatever positive feelings or negative feelings, good intentions, bad intentions, whatever is in the heart of a person will be brought out. وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ. If you think about it, whatever is in the qubur will be brought out. Whatever is in the sudur will be brought out. Where are people? In the qubur. They'll be brought out. Where are your feelings? In your heart. They will be brought out. Inna rabbahum, indeed their Lord, bihim, with them, yawma idin, on that day, la khabir, surely one who is fully acquainted. He is khabir. Who is khabir? One who is fully aware of the reality of something, the inside out of something. So he is fully aware of them on that day, meaning he knows about what they've done. He knows about their intentions. He knows about their motives, about their feelings, about what kind of gratitude or ingratitude, complaints they had in their heart. Because sometimes it happens that on the surface we show gratitude, but on the inside we are very upset with the way things are. Very unhappy, very discontent. So, inna rabbahum bihim yawma idin la khabir. Their Lord is fully aware of them. A person cannot hide his feelings from his Lord. Recitation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير.
This ayah, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ, that indeed the human being is very ungrateful to his Lord. This is in general. That typically, in general, this is how people are. Just as إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ خُلِقَ هَلُوعًا, generally people are impatient. Similarly, generally people are ungrateful. Because yes, there are some people who are exempt from this, who are grateful. And Allah says, وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشُّكُورِ, that there are very few of my servants who are actually grateful. But most of the people, how are they? Ungrateful. Because most of the time, what do we remember? Things that have gone wrong. Most of the times we discuss problems. Most of the time we have complaints. Most of the time we don't have positive things to talk about. Why? Because we don't think positive. Whatever is in the heart will come out in the speech as well. Will come out in our discussions as well. So, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لِرَبِّهِ لَكَنُودٌ وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. This is the reason why people are so ungrateful. Why? Because they love wealth. They love money. They love this dunya. And even if one thing is taken away from them, they have a list of complaints. Even if one thing is not the way they want it to be, they're very, very unhappy. But if you look at every situation in your life, yes, there are some things that are not the way you want them to be, but alhamdulillah, there are so many other things that are so good. And this is true, that if a person is positive, he thinks positively, he will feel the blessings, he will notice the blessings. And if a person is negative, then he will not even notice the blessings that he is surrounded with. He will only look at things that are going wrong in his life. And that are not necessarily going wrong, but according to him are not right. According to him are going wrong. So وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. And this is also general, that every person loves money, loves wealth. You will not come across a person who says, or who actually means that they don't like stuff. They don't like things. There are people who say, I'm not that concerned about money. But if you don't give them money, then they'll start complaining. So there's no person who is free from this. Every person loves wealth. However, the shiddah of that love varies from person to person. Some people have a lot of love for wealth. Other people have lesser compared to that. And other people have more than that. So depending on the love that a person has for wealth is going to be his gratitude or ingratitude. The more a person loves stuff, the more he wants them. The more he wants them, the more unhappy he is when even one thing is taken away. You can see this in children. That when they love their stuff, they may have a box full of toys, a chest full of toys. But if that one ball is taken away by the other child, they'll cry, I want that ball. Why? وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. Shadeed love he has, which is why even if that one tiny ball is taken away, and there are 5 other balls in the chest, no, he doesn't care about them. He wants that ball. So he will complain and he will not be grateful. So what's the problem? What is it that leads to ingratitude? The love of al-khayr, the love of wealth. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. But Allah reminds us, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. How long will you have all of this? Don't you know? When you'll be taken out of your grave, you will not come with all of these things that you love. وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ. At that time, what is in the heart will be brought out. What's in your heart? Feelings of gratitude or ingratitude? Happiness or unhappiness? Positive thoughts or negative? وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ. And إِنَّ رَبَّهُمْ بِهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَخَبِيرٌ. That day you cannot hide anything from your Lord. He's fully aware. يَوْمَئِذٍ, that day. Does it mean that Allah is not aware before that? Of course He is. So why is يَوْمَئِذٍ mentioned? Why is يَوْمَئِذٍ mentioned? Because that is the day of hisab. That is the day of recompense. That is the day when Allah will give to each person the reward or punishment for what is in his heart. In Surah Al-Tariq, ayah 9-10, we learn, يَوْمَ تُبْلَى السَّرَائِرُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ قُوَّةٍ وَلَا نَاصِرٍ. The sara'ir, the secrets that are in the heart, will be examined.
We are learning about this qanut, and most of time we have to really check ourselves because it's really easy to complain. I was thinking how many blessings I have and how many I did it hadith of the whole day, and how many times I complained the whole day. Because if you think the blessing of Allah, that even our seeing, our talking, I remember listening from Sheikh Muhammad Arifi was talking about this old man. He was very old and he did not have much and he was blind. But every day he would say, oh, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala فضلني على كثيرا ممن خلق تفضيلا. And there was a young man passing by and said that, I heard you every time saying this. I look at you, you don't have strength, you don't have worth, you are blind, and you are this old. What are you thinking? How did Allah did tafdeel upon you? He says, sit down, I will tell you. He say, how many people are there that they cannot hear the adhan and go to the masjid? He said, there are many. He said, so I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. And he said, how many people are there they can't speak? And I can speak. And so he said, there are many. He says, okay, I thank Allah for that. And he kept mentioning like this. And that young man who was asking him, he became very humble.
وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. You can never enumerate the blessings of Allah. He has given us so much. And a person whose eyes are fixed on the blessings, then he becomes obedient to his Lord. Just like these horses that are so obedient to their master, so humble. And when a person's eyes are fixed on what is missing, then he cannot be obedient. He cannot be grateful. So obedience and gratitude have a very, very deep connection. The more grateful a person is, the more obedient he is. And the more ungrateful a person is, the more disobedient he is.
Assalamu alaikum. The thing is, why a person be impatient, I think it's lack of understanding the Deen. If a person understands Quran, I don't think they will be impatient. They will do sabr, inshallah, because the Quran is nur, subhanallah. We have to teach our family and our children the Quran, because when they understand Quran, the biggest calamity they will see is time.
It's very true. And the biggest problems even appear to be small. Just as we learned that فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى, that the one who أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى صَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى, then what happens? Allah makes his life easy for him. How? It doesn't mean that he faces no challenges, no problems. No. He's able to deal with them. So, even if there are problems, they don't appear to be that big. He's able to accept them. He's able to say at that time, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, and hope for reward from Allah for that. We listen to the recitation again.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير.